Hi everybody, welcome to hamstring and hip stretch, strengthen and mobilise. So obviously the idea for this little routine is that it's about 10 to 12 minutes worth of mobilising hip and obviously hamstring area and helping to help lengthen those hamstrings as well. So anybody that's having any issues with that sort of hamstring and back area, sort of like lumbar and round hips, this is a very good little routine you can do in the morning and or evenings as well to help with mobilising and stretching out those areas. So what you need to do is you need to find a bit of space and a little bit of floor space where you can do your exercises. So the first exercise we're going to do is going to be something called a knee drop. So you have your feet together and your arms out laterally, trying to keep your shoulders flush to the floor and drop your knees side to side, but try and look in the opposite way to where your knees are dropping, and it's going to there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a timer on, just so that we're not spending too much time on each exercise, but I'll explain it as we go along. Okay, so if you just find a bit of space on the floor, get yourselves down into that starting position, and then obviously I'll talk as we go, and just keeping you up to date and any alterations obviously whilst we're going. Right, okay, so let's have those arms out, shoulders flush to the floor, knees together, and look in the opposite direction of where your knees are dropping. Now this is going to stay dynamic, so we're going to keep this moving, keep trying to focus on shoulders staying flush to the floor and getting that stretch around your pelvis and on your lumbar part of your spine. And just really take your time on this one. Now normally what you do is you start by mobilising it first, not holding anything for too long, just taking your time, just free it up a little bit. So we're just going to keep this going just for another 15 seconds and then move on to another dynamic related stretch exercise. That's it, keep taking your time, it's roughly about 4 to 5 seconds on each one. This is the last one now, dropping over. Okay, right, resting it there. Now staying in that position, all the way to do now is just extend one leg, bring another into the air. Your knee doesn't have to be locked out leg, so you can sort of soften that knee. Bring your hand just behind there, just before the knee, so behind the leg on your hamstring. And all I want you to do is gradually pull towards and then release it. So you're going as tight as you can towards and then releasing. So you're not actually holding that stretch for too long. So you're just gradually pulling it towards you and then releasing it. Just keep that movement going. Just nice and easy. Towards and then release. Just trying to add a bit more pressure each time, trying to get it a little bit closer towards you each time. So we're going to do another 10 seconds on this one, and then we're going to change legs. Okay, right, last repetition. Good. Right, then you're going to lengthen that one out. Same again on the other side. Oh, crikey. And as you're pulling in, make sure you're really getting to that hamstring area. So really pull it as tight as you can. Obviously, sometimes your hamstrings are tighter on other days than others, but just really focus on pumping that leg towards you. Same again, we're taking about 4 to 5 seconds on each repetition. Okay, last 10 seconds on this leg. And last repetition. Okay, good. Right, so staying on the floor, knees bent. You're going to cross one leg just over that knee there. Now then, with this hand, you're going to bring your hands over the knee there. Keep this leg on the floor for support. And you're going to start to pull the knee to the opposite shoulder. So I've got my right leg there, pulling that tight towards my shoulder. Now then, we're holding this for 10, so we're going to release and then go again. So this is a 10-second hold, gradually adding the resistance more and more and more throughout that 10 seconds. 2, 1, releasing. Okay, same again, pulling towards then releasing. And then we'll get one more on that one. Gradually keep adding the resistance, keep adding the resistance. And then release. Right, go same again to the other side. Obviously as you're pulling this one, this should be hitting more into your glute, around that hip area on this one. Right, so hands in the same place again, pulling across, opposite shoulder, keep resistance on, resistance on, resistance on, resistance on. And then release, nice and easy. And same again, put it back in, resistance on, keeping those shoulders flush to the floor. And then release. Whew. Okay, so again, another one, let's pull it in, tight, tight, tight. So as I'm pulling, it's coming right here into my glute. Resistance on, and then release. Then we've got room for one more on there, one more pulling in. That's it. Resistance on, towards the opposite shoulder. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. And release it there. That's good. Okay, so from there, we're going to onto your front. Okay, so we're going to go into a child's pose. So now with this position, the idea is we're trying to get our glutes back onto our heels, bring our head down and then just reach the arms forward as far as you can. Now we're just going to sit in this position for a little bit, just to try and let ourselves stretch out and lengthen. Now once you're down in position, I just want you to try and crawl your hands a little bit further out. So keep trying to get if you can get your head to the floor, great. And then just try and get those hands further out. But if your head's not there and your arms are out, then just keep trying to sit in as much as you can. So just keep trying to sit into that as much as you can. So I'm just going to keep holding that there. So just keep that same position. There's 10 seconds left in this position. Okay, good. Now then, what we can do from there, we can either just go into a cat stretch, nice and easy up and down, or into a cobra stretch there, and then you just twist your hips. So whilst in that position, just have a little bit of a rotate round. So it's just getting a stretch around your lumbar, your glutes, your obliques as well, which is going to be here on your sides. So this is the more preferred exercise. Now I've got a timer on, so if you can just keep this movement going just for another 30 seconds, or if that isn't working for you, then you go into your cat stretch instead, which is here. Nice and easy up and down, but just keep the movement going, just help free it up a little bit. Just keep rotating. Keep dropping those hips. Okay, last one there. Okay. Right, then another favourite exercise is a hip flexor stretch. So that's going one leg as far forward as you possibly can. And then you drive your hip forward. Okay, so this back knee's staying down. Then in this position, the stretch should be coming here on your hip flexor. There'll be a little bit of resistance here on your adductors and your hamstring. But just trying to drive the hips forward. Just keep getting that stretch there. I'm trying to work it from both areas here. So it's getting your lumbar and obviously working on the hip flexor. Just trying to sort of free up that hip area. So just keeping that position there. So instead of rocking it, we're just going to hold it. Just going to hold this position. So keep that stretch on. Still got another 10 seconds and then we'll change legs. Okay, right, same again the other side. So same again, getting that leg as far forward as you can. Really drive the hips in. Don't forget it's that back leg hip flexor. That's what we're looking for. If you want to get into a deeper part of this stretch, you can go hands to the floor and really push those hips as far forward as you can. I'm just going to stay into this position here. So if it gets a bit sore on the knee as well, you can always pop a cushion under it. So another 10 seconds in that position. Keep driving the hips in. Okay, good. Right, I'm going to just change legs again. Now I'm just going to face you for this one, but we're going into the same position. But all I want you to do now is start to turn your foot out like that. So you're trying to get your hips facing forwards. Now I've gone for my left foot first. So my left foot means my left hand will be on the inside of that leg. My other hand's going to go to the top here, behind my head. I'm just going to drive the hip forward and bring my hand down. And just keep driving those hips forward as you're getting that stretch in. Now you're getting a stretch here and around your hips as well. So just keep trying to drive the hip forward on that one as well. Just going to keep in that position for another 10 seconds. Don't forget, you're just as far as you can. So if you're not all the way to the floor, just as far as you can down. Just keep the stretch on. 2, 1, good. Right, then we're just going to change to the side. So bring the other leg forward. Just start walking that foot round. Make sure those hips stay forward. Hand on the inside of the leg, other behind the head, and then drive the hips forward and drive down towards the floor. And don't forget, we're trying to push the hips out and get our arm down. So we're getting that stretch in here and on the hips. Okay, just keep in that position. Just keep trying to go that little bit further. So don't forget, if you're about here, just keep trying to gradually get the resistance as you're going down towards the floor. Last 3, 2, and 1. Good job, nicely done. Right, so next one I'm going to face you again. I want you in a position here where I'm sitting on my right glute. I've got my leg now at a 90-degree angle. I'm trying to do exactly the same with the other leg, well, obviously inside down. Now then, from here, what we can do is bring one hand, then the other hand, and then gradually crawl forwards, trying to sit into it as much as you can. Obviously, really flexible, you'll be head on the ground straight away, but if you're like me and you've got tight hips and hamstrings, it's going to take a bit of time to get in that position. So just try and keep in that position forwards. That stretch is coming in on the outside of that leg and into a little bit into the lumbar, but into the hip as well. But I'm going to hold it there just for another 5 seconds. Okay, good. Right, I'm going to do the same again on the other side. So don't forget, that leg's to there. Always creating a right angle with the knee, with the line with the hip. And the same again here, hip, knee, and right angle. So let's go, same again, forward, as far forward as you can. Obviously, if there's a side that needs a bit more work, then try and hold the stretch a little bit longer on the other one. Okay, another 5 seconds in that position. Okay, right. Now staying seated, I want you to go in this position here. So one leg comes in, other leg stays nice and straight. And all I want you to do with both hands, I want you just to reach down as far as you can. Hold the position where you feel your hamstring tight. Trying to keep that leg locked, so make sure the knee's not bent. Try and keep that leg locked. So if you're not as far down, it doesn't matter, as long as you're getting the hamstring. So we're holding that position there, holding that position. I want you just to gradually just try and reach that a little bit further. Okay, just gradually keep trying to add a bit more resistance each time. Just keep holding the stretch so you feel it in your hamstring. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but just keep holding that stretch, gradually working towards the foot. Okay, keep it there. And if you can make the jump to the foot, then make the jump to the foot. Just keeping that leg nice and straight. That resistance needs to stay on. Still got another 10 seconds there. Okay, good. Right, then go same again to the other side. So let's bring that other leg out, other leg in. Same again, nice and straight. Gradually crawl your hand down. Oh, that's a tight one. And then hold it. And then gradually keep adding a bit more. Make sure that leg stays nice and straight. Reaching a bit more. And again. And again. Go for the toe. Keep in that position. Keep in that position. Three, 2, 1. Nicely done. Okay, so this is an exercise that I normally use before deadlifts. So what I want you to do is, obviously our hamstrings are probably feeling it a little bit now. I want you to go into a straight leg, reaching for the toes, okay? So in that position, what you can do is we're going to hold this stretch for 5 seconds. Then we're going to sit back onto your heels, okay? And then pump back up again. Same again to straight legs, trying to get that little bit further each time, okay? So we're going to go into wherever you can get to. So if it's here, then I want you to bend your knees and grab hold of your toes, drive the hips back, and then try and push up with your hands attached to your feet. If not, just where you can. Just keep trying to get that a little bit further each time. Okay, so if we start here, start in that position down, so hold with the feet or just before. Try to keep the legs as straight as you can. Then you're going to pump down, almost into a squat. Keep on your heels, and I want you to extend, holding that stretch. So my hands are going a little bit further under my feet this time. Okay, same again, we're going to come down, keep onto your heels. You're going to put my hands a little bit further under the feet. And then extend again, so we're getting that lengthening feeling. Oh, that's better. Okay, then down, same again onto the heels. The same again, keeping over it. Straight back into a straight leg. As much as you can. Oh. Right, down again, we're going to go one more. And boom, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Last one, that one. And then last one I'm going to get you to do is going to be a bit dynamic. So we're going to go from here, pushing into your hip flexor stretch. Then on this leg, you're going to come back into a hamstring stretch. Sit nice and deep as far as you can. And then go straight back in again. So just keep following. So nice and slow back. Sit deep, 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 deep. Get that stretch in. Heel stays in the same place. Same again. Push forwards. Hip flexors obviously on the other side. Sit back. Deep, 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 deep. Good. Right, then back forward. And then back again. Good. Right, we're going to change legs. This will be our last one. Right, so we're going to push forward. Sit back on the heel. There's my knee. Good. Right, then back forward again. And then back. Straight leg, heel, heel, heel. Good. Right, back forward. Back, 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 back. As far as you can. Don't forget, you've got to use those hands back forwards. Use those hands as you come back, and then back. One more repetition, forwards. And then back. Good. Okay, just a little routine there. Can be done in the mornings or the evenings, before or after exercising, just to try and free you up a little bit. Any changes on any of those exercises, just give me a shout. Lovely stuff. See you soon.